Hello, Mario. Can you hear me?
Yes, South. I can hear you well.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on you joined us. Let's wait 5 minutes and allow more people to join. Thank you. Hello once again. Thank you for joining us. We are just waiting for more people to join our session. So feel free to have a bottle of water, a coffee or something, and then we will start. Thank you. Well, I think that we can start. Thank you once again for joining in this week 2 session of the PMI-CP study group. Today's session, we will cover the second part of contract management. This session will be led by Saudi from Bahrain, which is a seasoned professional. We'll cover the topics that have been shared in the WhatsApp group. We will focus on the risk identification and allocation, managing variations and change orders, and performance monitoring and compliance. This will be a 1-hour session. And it will start with a presentation by Saud, and after that, we will have a Q&A moment, an interactive moment, where you can pose your question, and in the interaction, we will exchange experience and understand in this exchange experience what have been understood by the presentation. During the presentation, we will also will be provided activities where you can also understand the concepts and the content related to the PMICP. So remembering that this is not a training nor a workshop, this is a facilitation session to support you in your pathway towards the PMICP. So without further ado, I will over to Saud to start our session. Thank you, Saud, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mario. First of all, I'm happy to be here with all of the aspirants who are looking for this PMI CP certification. I really appreciate your enthusiasm, and I really appreciate all of the people coming here for this session. And it's a group study, really good, a facilitation technique which Mario initiated. So really appreciate that. So let me just start that. I can see there are 24 people if I include me and Mario. So the 22 people are there in our session right now. So as Mario explained, this one will be more aligned with the facilitation just to help you guys uh, move faster in the preparation of the PMI-CP exam. That's the idea. Okay. So before anything else, let me share the screen with you. And there is a presentation, of course. And during the presentation, there will be some like three, four activities. For those activities, I need your input. So whenever that activity will come, of course, you guys will be writing down in the chat, okay, about your answers, about your thoughts. So let's see how it goes. And there you can see my presentation over here. Mario, please let me know if you can see my screen so that I
Yes,
know that I have shared the
yes,
right screen. Yes?
that's right.
Okay. So let me start. Of course, contract management part two, execution and risk. We will be more talking about the risk over here. We will be exploring, of course, the risk part, going into the claims, and of course, we will be talking about change coming all the way. Just a little theoretical background to refresh your knowledge. Understanding risk, we all understand that risk is an uncertain event that will happen or can happen in the future. So in order to understand the risk here, we first explore the types of the risk that you must be aware of. Strategic risk, program risk, sub-program, project, contractors risk. Now they have shown in a little hierarchy over here with a triangle at the back with a pyramid, you can say, and the strategic risk is at the top, followed up with the program risk that you see over here. Then we have the sub-program, project, and the contractor. Now, we need to understand one point here, very basic point. Whenever we talk about the types of risk, understand this very basic definition. Risk target the objectives. Okay, this is how we define the risk. For example, if a risk is targeting the strategic objective, we classify the risk as strategic risk. Risk targeting or affecting the project objectives are classified as the project risks. So, just a little idea of the types of risk that you should be knowing before you go into your CP exam. So the causes of the risk, why we need to go through that, because if we know the causes, we might prepare a better strategy towards it. We might be preparing a better, mitigation plan towards it. So some of the risks are project related, of course, may include the risks such as the lack of proper project management that can lead to the risk over here. And oh, sorry, just wait. Yes, competitiveness, the pressure to match the prices, which is one of the most common risk here. When you bid on the project, there's a huge pressure to match the prices and you lower your price. And when you lower it, of course, it will go up. The risk will go up actually. Then we have contractual risk, which is maybe associated with the penalties that can be due to non-completing the job on time. When we are managing a construction project, of course, we need to know these sort of risks. By reading down the contract, we might find what are the penalties involved. Financial risks includes such as interest rates, economy, stakeholders based rates based on the problems of communication, misunderstanding of contracts, which is the most common risk if you ask me. Occupational risk, examples such as injury, fatal possibility, the workers because of the behavior methodologies used, and of course, the environmental risks such as the floods, earthquakes. So, these are some common causes of the risk. What's the risk management process? Remember, what we are doing over here is refreshing the knowledge, what you guys have already learned in your 4 modules from the PMI site. So this is a refresher. What's the risk management process? We identify the risk, put that in the risk register. The second step after the identification is assessment and prioritization. A very, very vital step. Why? Of course, because assessment means to understand the risk. Understand the risk means where it is coming from, what is the cause of the risk, or maybe what is the effect of the risk. And the prioritization. This prioritization, if you see and if you recall from your PMI CP course that which PMI has handed over, they are prioritizing this using an IPRA tool, integrated project risk assessment tool that will be used. We categorize the risk into 4A, 4B, 1A, 1B, and things like that. Just a refresher so that you know the prioritization of the risk. Then comes the risk analysis, where we do the understanding in a way that what is the quantitative analysis, right? Put that in numbers. And then we have the risk mitigation, how we are going to address the risk. Of course, these are the very common 4 steps. And be very careful when you go for the exam. Trust me, they will ask you this question in the exam about this whole process I'm telling you. They maybe put you in a position that you have analyzed the risk, what's the next step? Or you have identified the risk, what's the next step? So be very much aware of this particular process. And of course, all the things lead towards the risk identification. And again, when you do the risk evaluation, I have specially taken out this slide and put it over here. This understanding is tested in the exam. It's all about risk measurement. Yes, how we measure the risk. Then there is a very important tool that PMI CP course refer over here, which is the risk register, right? I'm mentioning only one tool over here, as we already know, and some of you might have the um, PMP as well, right? So they know what the risk register is all about. Here they are explaining it in little detail by putting up what is the description and cause, the likelihood of occurrence, relative impact, mitigation action, and possible parties, responsible parties, along with the status of the risk. When you go for the PMICP exam, you must know that risk register is a tool that we use to record and track the risk throughout the project. See the wording I'm using? Record and track the risk, and it is a tool that we use as a project manager. Now, here comes the IPRA, the very famous IPRA tool. There are a lot of tools that are discussed in the PMI CP CP exam, and one of them is the IPRA. There are other as well in interface management, scope management, and many other, right? So that's a sample of a risk register, of course. Let me walk you through the steps. IPRA element, every risk must have a unique code over here. Then, of course, the description of the risk. When you identify, here are the things that are updated. Now, when you do the assessment, keep the 4, 5 steps that I shown you before, keep that in your mind. And when you do the assessment and prioritization, here is the result of prioritization. As per the IPRA tool, it is classified as 4D. 4 is the likelihood of occurrence from 1 to 5, so it might be little high likelihood, and the relative impact from A to E. Of course, E is the most highly impact thing, right? You might find the probability impact matrix on your PMI CP material. Of course, when we are doing the assessment of the risk, we might find out this specific reason that what is the impact of the risk if the risk occurs, a potential new requirement or policies. Then we go into the mitigation plan that how we are going to mitigate it. So here they are mentioning either we are going to control, transfer, accept. There are some more coming along the way in my slides as well. And there I will ask you some questions. Then we have the relative cost of the mitigation, right? Is it low, medium, and high? Impact and the probability that this mitigation plan, what is the relative impact here and the probability? Then, of course, the risk register, the IPRA tool also identifies the responsible person for the action and what is the date to take that action and the status when it is done. The whole idea of using an IPRA tool is to know all of these things about the risk and keep this one little thing in your mind to record and track the risk throughout the project. I'm telling you a very important exam tip here. Now, for as a refresher, you must know that what project delivery methods are there and what are the risks associated with each delivery method. As the risk part is discussed in the contracts management, right? So we must know the risk associated with all. So we have these delivery methods: design, bid, and build. Design and build, CMAR, Construction Manager at Risk, and IPD, the Integrated Project Risk Delivery. Now, as you see here, design, bid, build, you might have, contractor not involved at this point. So there might be some risk related to the changes coming down the line. When you are going with the design and build, there might be a risk of an owner less involved during the design phase. For the CMAR, the construction manager at risk. So the price is the major risk over here. An IPT is an integrated project delivery, and which is, of course, the I used to call it, by the way, the agile of all the contracts because it is flexible. It is made in a collaborative effort with all the people, all the stakeholders involved. But the risk associated from this is, of course, we might get a little longer time finalizing it, right? Because alignment of all the stakeholders, it's a tough job to do, right? It's not that easy. So this is the whole exercise, of course, that you need to know. Select an appropriate approach, consider and articulate all the risk associated with that approach, and move forward with the one and plan better risk management strategies. Now, talking about risk management strategies, risk mitigation. Now, here I need you to help me, right? You can write it on the uh, chat here, I will click to begin. So what you will see mitigation strategies on your left and the description on the right. It's a little refresher how you are going to approach it. Yes, let's go. So we have risk avoidance over here. Now, I will just mention this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And this is A, this is B, this is C, and D. Take a minute, read A, B, C, D, and try to match it with 1, 2, 3, 4, based upon the knowledge that you already have, and write it on the chat. So you can write it as a whole, as in that A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, A1, B2, C3, D4 in one message actually, right? So we have one answer as A2. Okay. We will wait for all the answers to have here. So we have only one answer. Yes, please. Anyone? So A2, that is been confirmed, which is risk is not accepted by the project entity. Okay, so keep the word in mind. Let me see if that is the right answer. And there you go. Yes, A2. Let's go with the second one. So we have here very well B3, D1, C4. So B3, D1, and C4. Hmm. B3. So when I see all the answers over here, I will now go and select B and 3. So B is risk retention, and it is, yes, that's the right answer. A decision to make is made to accept the consequences of the risk. Very right. And then we have C4 and D1. So I think that's a little straightforward. C4 and D1. So very right. Thank you for reading and linking all of these things. I really appreciate. And I think we can move towards the next section. Thumbs up. Good job. Okay, so as you guys already know, this is just a description of what you have done in the previous slide. We have risk avoidance used when the risk is not accepted by the project entity and they are not willing to accept it. Risk retention is a conscious decision is made to accept the risk. Conscious decision. Keep the word in mind. Risk control is when a process is needed to continually monitor the risk. Risk transfer, or everybody knows risk transfer is about, uh, transfer it to the third party, deflect it to the third party. That's why they use the word deflection. And of course, the contingencies in place here, all of these are risk mitigation strategies. Now, I have another thing over here. All you need to do is to note down these words. Okay. You need to note down all of these words. And the next slide that you will see is a description 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try to read them and let me know which one is accept, which one is transfer, which one is avoid, which one is mitigate, and which one is a contingency. Yes. And when you select that answer, try to maybe write a reason for that. Just one sentence. Yes, okay. So we have one is avoid, one is avoid. Two people said one avoid very well. moving away from a potential risk, moving away from a potential risk. Three is transfer. Okay, why three is transfer over here? A project involves installing specialized elevators. The main contractor subcontracts the work to an elevator supplier who provides performance guarantees and carries, okay, straightforward, huh? Guarantees and carries insurance. So that's a transfer. So very right. So there you go. This is a transfer. And what about the next one? Two is mitigation and control due to implementation of additional safety equipment. Very right. See, I like the explanation that you have written over here. Two is contingency. Hmm. Two contingency. See, contingency is something. Yes, anyone, please. One of you said two is contingency. Five is contingency. Let us see. For five, for a high-rise project, a project manager adds 10%. See, it's a straightforward. That's a contingency. But how come two is not a contingency? Contingency is the amount of money, amount of time, something that you keep as a spare in case something happens, you use that. That is how the contingency is defined. Can be in terms of time, can be in terms of cost, whatever. But here in this point two, you are a site manager installs guardrails, ensuring proper scaffolding and conduct safety training for all. When you do this action, it will lower the chances. It will reduce the chances. And anything that reduces something, we call it mitigation, right? So that's the idea of mitigation. So I'm left with one and four. Okay, four acceptance, one terminate, two avoid, three transfer, four accept, five accept, four and five both are accept. Okay. Five is more like a contingency accept, and four is like a passive accept. You know, in the PMP term, we call active acceptance, passive acceptance. Remember that. If you have PMP, you will definitely resonate towards that active acceptance and passive acceptance. So I understand from where you are coming. Uh, okay, four is acceptance and four is control. Let me see. Four is control. Four. The contractor knows that occasional sandstorm may halt outdoor work for a few hours during summer. Since the impact is minor, they plan to resume once the condition improves. So they are accepting it, right? So yes, that is acceptance. They are just accepting the consequences of the risk. Yes, that's the right way. And the first one that is left over here, the construction manager decides to shift the building location 50 meters away from the power. Why? The project identifies the working near a high voltage power line poses a serious safety hazard. So now you are 50 meters away from that line. So you are avoiding it. Your strategy is known as avoidance. Yes, for control. Mhm. See, the definition of control. See in the previous slide, process is needed to continually monitor and correct it, right? So control is like a conscious effort, right? A process that is needed. And here, you're just accepting it. It's like a passive acceptance when you talk about, the PMP concept actually, right? So yes, thank you for doing this. I think we will go forward. If you have any question, you can write it in the chat box and I will be addressing them in the QA session. So very well done. Okay, so talking about risk and contracts, if risks are not clearly defined and assigned, it will lead towards the conflict. And if the conflicts are not clearly managed, lead towards the claims, and claims not clearly resolved leads towards the disputes. So our next topic is going towards the claims, right? So it, of course, put a strain relationship, delays in work, cost incurred, and claims already filed. Claim management process, one of the very important topic for the CP exam, right? And we must know the process here: prevention, mitigation, pursuance, and resolution. And you know what? Where the risk management takes place? In the prevention stage. Risk identification, sorry. Risk identification takes place in the prevention, right? Mitigation is effective early in the project life cycle during the pre-award contract execution and management phases, right? It's like controlling the claims. Maybe you might have a risk management process over here. You identify the risk, you implement your risk responses in claim mitigation, right? And claim pursuance and claim resolution might be a little out of here from the risk management, but the resolution might be because whenever we resolve the claim, of course, it will go into the lessons learned register, and that will be used for the risk identification for the future projects. So when we are doing that, these four steps of claims must be known. You might see a question in the exam regarding these four steps and where risk identification takes place and where the implementation of risk response takes place. So here you implement risk response. Okay. So here we have another activity, and what you need to do is read the description over here and try to put that under prevention or mitigation. Where you will add it? Will you add it in the prevention part or will you add it in the mitigation part? The description is disputes will have been resolved amicably if the desired outcome of this stage have been achieved. Disputes will be resolved amicably. Is it mitigation or prevention? Yes. Do you understand the concept of this game? Mitigation. Okay. Mitigation. Mm-hmm. Okay. So two people said mitigation. Any reason? Think of a reason, maybe, if you can quickly write it down. No, prevention. There is already a claim, so you are no longer preventing it. See, even claim mitigation doesn't mean that already claim exists, right? Claim exists during the third stage, right? Claim mitigation means your contract is already there. Now you are trying to reduce the effect of the claim, right? See, third stage, the claim happens. Second stage, the mitigation part, claim is not happening. You are putting a process in place. What is the purpose of process? The process purpose is that if the claim happens, we will reduce the impact of that. The process will not prevent the claim, right? So this is a little understanding we need to know. So does the dispute comes before the claim? No, 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 no. Dispute will never come. Dispute will have, they are saying in the scenario, see, will have been resolved amicably if desired outcome. Means in the future, you might resolve the disputes very good if you have a mitigation plan in place. That's the idea of this particular point. So it's a mitigation. I hope that is clear. The next statement here is saying one of the desired outcomes of this stage involves alignment on project purpose. Is it a step that you will have in prevention or mitigation? Alignment on the purpose. Prevention. Very right. Okay. Uh, Prevention. Any particular reason for that? Okay. A lot of people are saying prevention. So let me just quickly go there. And the basic reason of prevention is, of course, alignment on the purpose, always a preventive measure here, right? Yes. Number three, a best practice associated with this stage includes creating a training plans. Creating training plans. Prevention. Okay. 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 Very nice, very nice. So we have here under the prevention. Next, an effective change order process is an essential best practice of this stage. Effective change order, mitigation, prevention. See, change order effectiveness means sorry, change order process. It means that will be applicable when there is a change, right? So it's a mitigation plan. Right? If I have a best change order process, it does not mean it will prevent the changes, right? So keep that in mind. That's the way, yes. A critical input linked to this stage is the existence of risk sharing arrangement. Risk sharing arrangement. Is it mitigation? Mitigation and mitigation. Yes, very right here. Oh, it's a claim prevention, guys. A critical input linked to this stage is the existence of risk sharing arrangement. How come it is a prevention, guys? All of you put mitigation over here. Yes, think. Again, I will say the same mindset will be applied over here. The mindset is risk sharing arrangement means allocating the risk, right? And if risk is allocated, means people will be more responsible in the identification of the risk, which is a preventive measure. Okay, that's the way. Next is a critical input linked to this stage is the existence of decision making process. E- The last the last but one question messed my thought process. Okay, I will address that answer here. Messed your thought process. Hmm. Okay, Mook, I will be addressing your answer over here. The last one messed your thought process. See, let me explain. Risk sharing arrangement, right? What does that mean? It means you allocate the risk to the owner, to the contractor at the earlier stages so that they can identify the risk for which they are allocated. So risk identification is a prevention thing. That's the way to go about. Okay, the next is critical input linked to this stage, decision making, very right. Next up, we have a key characteristics of this stage is to ensure timely conflict resolution. Ensure timely conflict resolution. I'm moving with the next mitigation. Mitigation. Let's see. Yes, you are absolutely right. Next and the last one, a key characteristics of this stage is that it starts when the contract is formulated. Prevention. Prevention. Okay. Jumuk says prevention. So your thought process is right here. Okay. I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Right? Yes. Yes. Very right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You are the best. Yes, that's a prevention here. Not because the only space is available over here and you guys are filling it, right? Just try to see the concept behind it. Very right. So moving on. It was a good exercise, by the way. Delivery methods and the impact on the claims. We already covered these things, by the way, in our previous slide, but just to keep you on board over here, in a design build contract, the designer and the contract may blame each other for the cost overruns or schedule changes. Yeah, it's a, if build contract, they might blame each other, right? May give rise to the risk misalignment of contract document, design, bid, build. One party is doing the design, other party is doing the building. So there are chances of misalignment a lot. There are chances of, going with the designer putting up something else, builder is doing something else, and the builder who is not involved at the design might ask for a lot of changes. So that's the risk associated with that. CMAR may give rise to the risk of misalignment of the contract documents. Yes. And the IPD, integrated project delivery, eliminates the risk of misalignment of the contract documents, but could lead to disputes around the cost overrun or schedule changes. See, there are a lot of things that are happening here and there, but the only thing you need to know is effective documentation in order to reduce the claims for and solve the claims amicably. Improper documentation is, of course, required. Yes. Now, a very major thing that happens in the CP exam, construction professional, of course, that is understanding the change and how it is different than claim. You might see tons of questions regarding this thing. Okay. So remember one thing, just a refresher point here. A change is approved by, agreed by both parties, right? Claim is not like that. Claim is a compensation in terms of extension of time, in terms of time or cost. Change is a variation. Change is managed in a proper process. Here are the 5 steps that you can see over here. Review the contract of managing changes, identify change and create the potential change orders, evaluate the potential change order, negotiate and execute the change order, and update complete records, right? So let me ask you a question over here. Out of these 5 steps, where the change order is accepted or rejected? Yes. Out of these 5 steps, where the change order is accepted or rejected? Four, four, three, four. Okay. I think 4. Yes. And why is that? Anyone put up the reason why 4? Is it meant that you as a PM are evaluating the potential change order? Yes, of course. Yes. Outcome of 3, but the decision will be based upon the outcome of 3, decision transferred. Uh-huh. Because the negotiation taking place, because of that word. Yes, 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 yes. But that negotiation will be based upon the evaluation that you have done in the third stage. The third stage will evaluate. The fourth stage, acceptance will take place. Very, very right. The people who said the fourth stage. Let us move to the next step. To keep that in mind, all the things that we are discussing, maybe they are the part of PMI CP exam. Okay, so be very much excited of what's happening over here. And that's the steps here. Here are some tips of reducing or eliminating the change orders, just the theoretical knowledge. And yes, there are will be some questions revolving around this in the exam. Most of them are quite generic here. Establish upfront change order process, provide a clear scope of work, right? Coordinate all project elements, collaborate within the disciplines, right? Very generic tips here to eliminating the change orders, support transparency, right? Of course, you know all about if you have done the PMP exam, the CP exam is also like that, that they will put you in a scenario and they will say how you could have avoided a situation like this. So maybe, supporting transparency, providing a clear scope of work, or collaborating within the disciplines might be your answer for that particular question. Okay. But I have here some questions that I want you to answer. Yes, this is question number one. What do you think?
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yes,
Salt.
please.
Let's give the audience, if they have questions, they can raise their hand, and then we finish with the questions. So,
Okay,
if you have
okay,
questions, doubts on what has been presented by Salt, please raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask if you have any doubts. And then we will follow with the questions, sample questions. If not, we go along. Any questions on what has been presented here? Raise your hand, unmute yourself, and feel free to ask. You have one question on the chat,
I have one.
or maybe a contribution. I don't understand how different delivery methods, DBBDB, CMAR, IPD, carry different types of risks. Could you briefly explain the types of risks they carry again? So
okay,
salt.
okay, okay. Let me explain that. See, let me start with IPD. The IPD is integrated project delivery. Okay. So when it comes to integrated project delivery, it means it's a collaborative effort, means all the stakeholders who are involved, they will sit together and they will draft a contract. They will be working under one contract. Just imagine working under one contract. So if they're working under one contract, there is a huge risk of delay. Why? You might take longer time to complete the contract, right? Because making everyone agree on the same page, it's a difficult thing. So when you select an IPD, make sure you have ample time, right? Because there is a risk associated with IPD, that is, it takes time to develop. Okay, so that's one IPD. Second is the CMAR. CMAR is construction manager at risk, right? In this, the construction manager is appointed at first and he caps the price. So the risk associated with the cost going up is gone, right? That's why the CMAR is there. But it puts a huge risk on the construction professional, right? It treat construction manager actually. How come? What if the cost goes up if the construction manager is working? Right? So, of course, we say construction manager at risk, it caps the price, but there's always a risk of things going up. The third, design and build. In design and build, what happens? I think my video is stuck. Let me know, Mario, if it is working.
So what you now doing?
Yes, Mario, is it
Yes,
my voice is clear?
yes, I can see your mouse.
Okay, okay. No, no, my voice is coming. Can you hear
Um,
me?
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you well.
Okay, you can hear me well. Okay, so I think my video just paused, right? Ah, okay, thumbs up. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, coming back, guys. Design and build. Now, what happens in design and build? Imagine I am a person and I am having a contractor on design and build, right? So he will be designing and he will be building it for me. So it for me, it is a risk of anything can go in a way that I am totally blind what's happening in the design. I'm totally blind what happening in the execution. Anything changes in the design, implemented in the execution, variations are coming or not. It puts me in a huge risk in a design and build contract, right? So I must know that risk so that when I create clauses, I must address it and design, bid, and build. What will happen here? I am the bidder, I am the middle person, right? I will have one entity for the design, then I will bid, and I will have one entity for the builder, the constructor who will construct it. So alignment of these two parties will be a little difficult thing, right? Change orders are expected because once the contractor is on board, after the design is complete, they might ask you, a lot of changes. Oh, this thing is not right. This thing is right. We will do it like this, right? It cannot happen like this. A lot of changes comes into place, right? So that's a risk associated with design, bid, and build. I hope I answered your question.
So to lap Dario, um, is the question
Sorry.
answered? Yes, I'm asking Kulap if the question has been answered. If not, we can.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question, or we can proceed with the sample questions so some doubts can be following in the sample questions. By the silence, I think so. We can proceed with the
Okay.
sample questions.
Okay. So here goes question number one. Read and type your answer. Okay, so we have A answer all along the way. Why not C, guys? Why not C? Okay, A is the most common answer coming my way, which is correct, by the way. But just try to explore why not C here.
Uh, Ponza raised her hand.
Okay,
So
okay. The constructor has too much design power in the design, decision power in the
Uh,
design. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Uza
I was
wants
about.
to
Oh,
ask
yeah.
a question. Go ahead, Uza.
Yes, very right. You got the right point.
Okay.
You got the right point here. Pull up. Yes, I'm sure I'm pronouncing your right name correctly, but yes, that's the right way.
So, so
Okay,
Uza
next.
wants to ask a question.
Mhm. No, no, no. It's fine. Hi, Saud.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes,
I think you've responded because you responded to Sipo. I was going to say it's not CMA because the client wants to maintain significant control, right, over the
on the
design process.
design.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So keep that in mind. Very important question for the CP. Okay, next up. Yes, what about this?
So, are you with us?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I'm there. Yes,
okay.
that's the second question I'm showing.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Part one that you have in the previous week is now being challenged with the part two of change and claim. Yes, what's the answer here, guys? Mm-hmm. A, A. Okay, in both cases, contractors can unilaterally proceed. The lump sum contract can adjust payment directly, while the cost plus contract must request a formal change request. I think you got the idea here uh, from the options, right? Oh, one of you has put D as an answer. Both contractors require a change order only if the owner issues a termination for convenience. No, not a suitable option to select here because of the word only if the owner issues a termination for convenience, right? So what does that mean? It's a little, or going off track for what we are looking in the whole scenario. But yes, the right answer is A in that case because for a lump sum contract, a formal change request must be there. But for a cost plus contract, of course, it's a cost plus if the cost is going high, right, it's a reimbursable expense, right? So you will be get paid for that. Okay, the last question. I think this is the last question. Yes, read and let me know. B, B. Okay, why not A? Any reason for eliminating A? Classic. Yes, that's it. It is a classic situation. Every contractor asks for this thing, right? Was a foreseeable risk. It was not unforeseen. Yes, Okay, I'm really impressed that you guys pick up the right point, right? It was within the contractor's responsibility, so it is not a change, right? It will be regarded as a claim. So very right, actually. It's a known unknown. It can't be unforeseen, all right? Yes, foreseeable risk. It was actually listed down and it was included in the contractor's responsibility. So contractor must have done something about it, and it is a claim, right? Very, very right. Now, see, this topic leads to this point that, in the CP exam, you might find questions like these to identify whether it is a change, whether it is a claim, what is the process of claim, how to handle risks, what is the effect of risk management to minimize the claims, right? So keep that in mind. I hope you understand this thing. Yes. Thank you very much. That was it about this little topic that I was given to speak. Yes, please, if you want to say anything. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much so for this very informative presentation and interaction and engagement moment with the audience. So
Thank
we
you.
finish our session for today, but we have 2 to 3 minutes for any questions that is still in your head. And Saudi is here and me also to help you in this endeavor that you started. And we are here to facilitate it towards the PMICP. And I'm also glad that everything is becoming clear. And with this session, we are one step closer to the PMI-CP credential. So feel free to unmute yourself in the next 3 minutes and ask your question if you have any doubts regarding what has been presented today.
I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile. I usually share few things about the CP things, right? I am one of the trainer for the construction professional course. I train people in Bahrain. I'm from Bahrain actually. So you can have a chat with me anytime. Just message me over there so that we can connect. Yes, please. Joffrey, you have a question. You raised your hand.
Yes, Geoffrey.
Hi, Saud. Well, it's not really a question. I just wanted to say that it was a really clear session, and the way that the sessions are aligning themselves are helping to make things really clear because we related a lot of things from the first session, for the first two sessions, and things are turning out to be really clear. And I wanted to just mention that and say that thank you for your time, and we hope to have another sessions with you, and thank you. Thank you.
Definitely, I will see my schedules as well regarding that. So I'm always here to help, right? So I'm really glad that you like these words meant a lot.
Okay, any other questions? We have 2 minutes more, and I think that Saul has been clear. Punza, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to re-echo the last speaker's point, thank you very much, Award. I think your experience it shines through in your explanations because you, you make it simple and you also are giving us strategies on how to, respond to the questions, what to look out for. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm always here to help. I want people to pass the exams, be a certified people, right? And of course, trying to make it simple. That's my motto as well. If you see my LinkedIn, right, keep it simple. That's the whole thing that I'm looking forward to. Yes, thank you that you appreciate.
Thank you. We have Sohail. I hope I'm
Yeah.
pronouncing it well. So Ask your question,
Very,
please.
very nice. Thank you, Mario. That's completely correct. And so thank you very much for today's presentation. It was really nice and clear, and all the important, I think, the topics covered. Additionally, since you are expert and experienced PMI CP trainer, I would like to ask, where is the source of this question that you presented? They were really, I think, in a high level. And if there's any source that we can find more question for train for the presentation for the exam, that would be nice.
What I'm doing actually, I'm a trainer as well. So at the same time, I'm preparing questions, right? I have conducted two sessions here in Bahrain. I have conducted two sessions, and I'm in the process of preparing questions. I have almost like very less actually, 30 to 40 questions that I have prepared myself, not more, right? So, but still, it's in the process going on. Yeah. Contact me through
Yeah.
the LinkedIn. I can, step by step, I can share it with you as well. No issues, right? Helping the people, of course, it helps me actually, right? So definitely, just contact me on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. But I have very less, I'm in the process of creating actually. So that's why.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your engagement, for your participation, and keep engaged, keep studying. I think we have one question for Leah. Leah, please. The stage is yours. You're muted. If you have a question.
I think she's saying, do you have recording of these sessions?
Yes, we are managing some technical aspects, but in the next days, I think before the end of this week, you will have. I expect to have the recordings tomorrow to share with all of you. Thank you. So if there's no any more questions, I thank you once again, and we are all grateful. Thank you, Saud, for your engagement, for the presentation, and we look forward for the next sessions, and keep studying because we did one step forward towards the PMI-CP. Thank you, good evening, and let's build a better world with PMI-CP. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.